have a whole life policy, right? What happens if you become terminally ill during that time?
Now, you have the option of cashing that policy out because, once again, that's your money. I'm terminally ill. I called my agent, hey, London, they told me I got brain cancer and I am not going to make it. I've got another 8 months.
Wow.
I want to enjoy my life for these next 8 months.
That's right.
That money is yours. You can cancel that policy and take everything you've got in it. Or the smartest thing would be, let me just borrow against the policy and leave my death benefit there because I don't want my family to deal with that debt, with that cost.
What do you mean borrow against it?
So once again, that's your money. So if you cancel a life insurance policy, the government says, hey, you just made a profit on it.
That's income.
So we're going to tax you. But if I take a loan, that is not now taxable income.
Right.
My policy is still in force. So now, instead of me being taxed on it, I'm simply borrowing the money from myself. Then instead of me, I want to make sure I word this correctly. I can borrow against the policy and not worry about paying it back. It affects my death benefit. So my death benefit will come down.
Got you.
But if I continue to pay my premiums,
it
regenerates.
Right. Whoa. I hope y'all got a notebook like I do.
That's right.
I'm writing all this down.
Right. That's right.
As I said, now, and I do more than just life insurance. I want to say that. But what I will say is, I'm going to give you my email address.
Yes.
My cell phone. People have questions, and I tell everybody, there is a dumb question. I'm not one of those. There are dumb questions. But when you don't know, you don't know.
That's right.
Right.
If I don't know, I'm going to ask you. And the great thing about New York Life, I don't know all the answers. I want to say that.
Right.
But I got 25,000 people. I have lawyers. Right. I have accountants.
Right.
I'm calling them. Hey, this guy asked me this.
Right.
What happens there? Well, I don't know, London. Let me do some research and I'll get back to you.
Right.
I'm going to come back to you with the answer. I may not know the answer, but I know where to go to get it.
Right.
Wow.
So, and I tell people, it's like the African American community. Life insurance has changed so much. I know a gentleman purchased a life insurance policy. Some 34, 35 years ago. A $10,000, what they called a burial policy.
Okay.
It's just enough to bury you. So we got this $10,000 policy. $30 a month. Doesn't sound bad, you know.
Right.
Problem is, he's had this thing now 35 years.
Right.
$30 a month, 35 years.
Right.
He's paid about a little over $11,000 in premiums on a $10,000 burial policy. So he's older. So, the guy comes, his son, actually, his son and I play ball. He's like, hey, can you look at my dad's policy for me? Love to. Let's sit down and look at it. Pull it out. We start looking. And I show him his illustration. The illustration, once again, just shows you how your policy grows over time.
Right, right.
So in 1984, he got this policy, $10,000, and it shows it growing. But now we're into 2019. This guy's policy was still only worth $11,000. You've paid $11,000 and it's only worth $11,000. And because of his age now, I was not able to help him. I couldn't say, let's close this out. Let's cancel this. Tell them I don't want to pay this anymore. Give me whatever my cash value is and I will do something else. It really didn't benefit him. And it was so sad to look at this guy and say, I really can't help you. Every year, you should be looking at your life insurance policy. People change the oil in their car.
That's right.
People will, change the filter in your air conditioning. with furnace. And I get that life insurance policy, I stick it in the drawer.
That's right.
And I never look back. To make it even worse, being this man, we looked down at his dang old life insurance policy. His girlfriend was his beneficiary.
Right.
Were it not for me arguing with, sitting down with this guy, his wife would have been mad. He's remarried. He never looked at his policy.
He never changed it.
He had his old beneficiary.
Oh man.
Oh.
I tell people, take that policy out. Even if I can't help you, the fact that we sit down and talk and we look at it, there are things I can point out that you can go back to your agent, if you have an agent, and say, hey, my guy told me this, this, and this. Well, okay. He start I'm about to go back and talk to that guy again.
Right.
But look at that policy, man. You got to look at that thing. If you don't understand something in there, call me.
Right.
Hey, London, you said, remember when I got this policy, you told me I could take some money out?
Right.
I sure did. Well, I need a new furnace.
Right.
They telling me I need $6,000. Let's look at your policy.
Right.
You got $6,000 in there.
Right.
$6,000 takes me 12 hours to get you a check. If you want to go to the bank and fill out an application and wait on them to send it in and then had to pay them back every month, and then that's up to you.
Right.
But now that you done told me this is my money,
right,
I'm calling you.
Right.
I'm gonna be calling you. Hey man, it's my birthday, man. Take a $100 bun out of there, you know.
That's
yes.
crazy.
Yes, it is. And I mean, there is so much you can do with life insurance that we have not, as a people, tapped into.
Right.
I'm dealing with a pastor, small church. Well, I shouldn't say small. He's maybe 75 to 100 people strong.
Right.
And he's like, well, hey, I want to do some things, but I don't quite know how to do it. What are you trying to do? Well, I want to see if I can get, some of my members to get them a policy.
Right.
And basically, it's a to build the church, but make us the beneficiary.
Right.
And in theory, it sounds good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But when they do that, the church loses the write-off. But check this out, Pastor, because you're talking to a guy I'm starting to move around and learn some things.
Right. Right.
What if you were to get 10 of your members?
Mm-hmm.
You get 10 people who will concede, who will say, yes, I'm willing to go in with you, Pastor. And you do $1 million policy on the church. The $1 million policy, the 10 people pay, they're all paying a portion of the premium.
Right.
As your value builds up inside that bill, you know what, y'all, we need a new roof.
Right.
We can take out a loan, or we can call our life insurance agent.
Right.
Hey, bro, we need some money for a new roof. Can you get me a check? Yes, I will, Pastor. Want me to just bring it by, or you want to come by and pick it up?
Wow, that easy.
That
so
easy.
This is insurance on the actual church, you're saying?
On the church itself.
But when does it end? It doesn't.
Now, granted, there are different styles in life insurance. A whole life premium is designed to pay until you're 100 years old.
Right.
At 100 years old, we don't pay anymore. It's considered paid up. But some people say, like, you know what? I don't want to pay that long. I dealt with a young man. He's ex-military.
Right.
And he said, okay, I don't want to pay for life insurance past 65.
Right.
And I think he was maybe 47.
Okay.
So we said, okay, no problem. We'll design it as such. He pays his premiums to 65 years old. We call that a declining premium. So when he hits 65, his premium would be down to zero. And it is considered paid up. He's paid for the other years inside that period.
So what is he paying more each month?
He's paying a little bit more each month. But
okay,
so it's front loaded.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So when you say a little bit, how much is a little bit?
Yes. Well, a little bit. I mean, he's got and I don't want to be telling everybody, but he's got a $250,000 policy.
Right.
And he's paying right now like $180 a month.
Okay.
Which is still, not bad.
That's not bad because he's going to be done in 18 years.
Yes, he's going to be done in 18 years.
Right.
So, and what's happening is right now, maybe $25, $30 each month is going toward the end.
Gotcha.
And as he's going, granted, the premium is going down each year, but he's giving less and less each year toward the back end.
And what is that called again?
That's called a declining premium.
Declining premium.
Or the actual term is premium offset.
Premium offset.
The actual term, yes, premium offset, but it's
premium offset.
Yep.
Got you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I actually have a very important question that is probably brewing in a lot of viewers' minds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With life insurance, does a medical exam, is that always part of the?
It typically is. Ordinarily it is, but right now, because of COVID-19,
right,
a lot of people are worried about that. So they don't, if you don't want anybody to come in your house, they'll say, okay, well, and this is New York Life. I can only speak for New York Life. I can't speak for anybody else.
Absolutely.
But New York Life right now is offering it without the medical. But what happens is
interesting.
The best rate you will get is a non-smoker rating.
If you don't smoke.
That's the best rating you can get.
That's the best one you're gonna get. Okay.
Yes. So they will rate you as a non-smoker. Well, actually, there are 3 levels better.
Okay.
Than non-smoker. So because I'm just once again using me, I'm 55. I don't smoke, drink very little, exercise on a regular basis. I mean, I'm considered. I won't say great health. I mean, I'm
good health.
Right. I actually take a pill for high blood pressure. Only medication I take.
Okay.
But I got a preferred 2, which is 1 step above non-smoker.
Got you.
But because of that preferred 2, my premiums came down. If I'd have got a preferred, select preferred, premium comes down even more. So people say, hey, well, I'll take the non-smoker rating because I don't want them in my house. And then when this pandemic goes away, can I go ahead and take it then? Sure can. Or what if, God forbid, I was diabetic?
Right.
But now I've been off of the medicine for 2 years. I'm controlling it through diet and exercise. And I've done this for 2 years.
Right.
Can I be reevaluated? You surely can. And the benefit of, once again, talking to an agent, most people would not know that they could go back and say, hey, I want a better rating. I went online, I got this premium. That's what my premium is. And I'm not knocking people that go online. I don't want it to sound that way. I'm simply saying YouTube makes it easy to work on your car.
That's right.
So I need to change my brakes. I need to replace, swap my brakes. I go in, I figure out how to do it on YouTube, and I go in.
Right.
And then I get in there and it's like, well, I don't have the right tool for that.
Right.
But my wheels are off, my car is jacked up. Oh man, I got to put this wheel back on and then go try and find the tool. Then when I come back, that's still not the right tool because that's not I don't have the same size on here that guy had on his car in the video.
Right.
And oh man, this is ridiculous. But when I go to my mechanic, he's got all the tools there.
Right.
He knows what he's doing. That's once again, the benefit in talking to an agent. When I come in there and I say, hey, London, I was in the military and I came out with PTSD.
Right.
Yeah, we can disclose that. But we're going to talk to your doctor and make sure that this is, here's the clinical diagnosis form. So is that an issue now? No, that's not an issue. But when I'm online and I'm doing this thing and I put in PTSD, I got that PTSD rating. Sorry, there you go, buddy.
That's it. Right.
I don't know what I need to report or not what I don't want to report, but what will actually offset that. I don't know. I can go to my doctor to get a statement saying, okay, this, and this. He is not on medication. He was kicked out of the Army for PTSD. Yes, but he is not on medication. Right. He was monitored for 6 months and that's the end of it.
Right.
Huh. Glad I talked to you, man. You just saved me $500 a year.
So my question is, now this is a little specific. What if you are an expat an American citizen living in a different country, can you still get life insurance here?
Yes, you can. As long as you carry your green card, good to go.
So how does it work? Okay, let's get real specific. So in Nigeria, right? So how can I, as an American citizen, get life insurance while in Nigeria?
Now, you would have to be here to get it while you're here. But the thing is, life insurance is not territorial. So it's not a thing of we can't cover you because you're there. As long as you're here in the States, I have a legal residence here. That's really the gist of it. We would use your identification and everything. We were identifying you here. The fact that, if you go back to Nigeria, you can still keep it in place.
Right.
But you would have to be here as it's issued.
But let me piggyback off that question. Now, that's the same scenario, but let's say her beneficiary is also in Nigeria. God forbid something happens to her. What happens? Do they have to come here?
That's going to be rough. I'm going to tell you that. And the reason I say that's rough is me as an agent.
Right.
And Portia's my client.
Right.
When something happens to you, I'm personally delivering that check. I'm not one who wants to put a check in the mail.
Got you.
And the reason I do that is this, and this is just my own personal gist. I mean, it's not this. What I do is not the same that everybody else does.
Right.
And my sister gives me permission to tell her story, just so you know.
Sure.
5 years ago, my nephew was murdered in my sister's house.
Wow.
Some kids kicked in the door. He confronted them. There was a scuffle, guy shot him. My sister, my other nephew, my niece, actually 2 nieces were in the house.
Oh, man.
They left. That was, so my nephew was the only one that passed. 19 years old.
Oh.
Rough. That is the roughest thing.
That's
burying your child.
Right.
Is, my God, that's rough.
Right. It's nothing more tougher than that.
So, as an agent, I know what it is when that person is going through it.
Right.
I am not fully there. When you come in here, I get a check in the mail that says, London Dixon, yada, 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 $250,000. Here you go.
Right.
There is so much I got to do, and it is tough. When I come out to your house, and I know you're grieving, I know you are grieving. Okay, what's going on? And I'm kind of paraphrasing here for you. Okay. This is your son, and I know that.
Right.
And I know how tough it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you 2 checks, because this check right here, I want you to put in your checking account.
Right.
Because all I want you to have to worry about right now is a suit. I'm going to take this one right here, which we discussed when we set up your policy. This is how much money you plan to spend for your son's funeral. Should it happen, God forbid.
Right.
I'm going to go to the funeral home for you. I'm going to deliver this. I'm going to talk to them. If they have any questions, I'll let them talk to you. But I'm going to do this because I don't want you to have to worry about that right now.
Wow.
You got family in your house right now. You got, picking out suits. I got bills are still coming in my house. I don't want to go back to work yet.
Right.
I don't want you worrying about all of that stuff. Let me deal with that. You need something, you call me. That's the difference in an agent and a check coming in your mailbox.
Right.
There was a guy lived across the street from me, and I don't want to go too far into people's businesses. His wife had cancer. They got $100,000 policy because they wanted him to be able to pay off the house when she passed.
Right.
When this woman passed away, he got a check in the mail. And to say he was not an educated man is accurate. I don't want to say it, but it is what it is.
Right.
He did the right thing. He signed that check and he mailed it off to the mortgage company. That's what they planned. Pay off the house with this.
Right.
Well, 6 weeks later, his wife was still in the morgue. because he never took money out to pay for the funeral.
Sad, man.
3 years later, he lost the house.
Oh, man.
Because he did not know that by paying off the house direct, I still have to pay the taxes on the house each year.
That's right.
Lost
Absolutely.
the house for taxes.
Oh, man.
There's a difference in working with an agent because your agent says, okay, check this out now. Remember, I'm going to take this check right here and I'm going to the funeral home. I'm talking to them. We're going to take this much money and we're going to put it in your account because God forbid, most companies today will give you 3 days off with pay.
Right.
And when you've lost your spouse, I'm sorry. I told you I lost my nephew. I got 1 day off.
Oh, man.
I could not, I'm at work, the following days, but I'm sitting at my desk and I'm crying because I'm thinking about my nephew.
Right, man.
It's very hard to go back with 3 days. I'm gonna need you to have some extra money sitting here so that you can say, hey, I'm not ready to come back yet. I need 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So we're gonna have some extra money there for that. That's in your bank account because I don't want them to turn your lights off while you're sitting at home worrying, mourning your wife.
Right.
That's there in your account. We're going to take this money from this check and we're going to put it in an annuity. Why are you putting it in an annuity, London? Because I'm going to let this annuity pay your mortgage each month. You don't have to worry about that. Your annuity, the house is paid. So now your taxes are taken care of because that's in the escrow.
Right.
Not only that, say, because he had $100,000, say we only put $65,000 in there. No, it doesn't pay my house off, but by the time that annuity is sitting there, still gaining interest. By the time it goes away, I'm 85% of the way done paying for this house. I can start to decide now, do I want to stay here or not? Do I want to go ahead and take the equity now, sell this house and go on? That's the difference working with an agent. I'm sitting here with this guy. We develop your plan. Once again, your life insurance has to do what you wanted to do.
Right.
I ain't worried about this house. I wanted to send my kids to college. How old is your son? He's 12. Okay. Once again, we start to put this money in an annuity now or 529 plan.
Right.
Excuse me. So that we can take care of your son going to school versus me giving you a check that sits in your bank. And now, because you got that big old check, you got that big old tax bill with it. We're going to work out your plan.
Right.
Anybody. When I talk to an agent, or when I talk to a client, I want to know what you want this thing to do.
Right.
My plan can't be your plan.
Right. You know
so
what?
Once again, back to why it's important to African Americans.
Right.
We don't know these things.
That's right.
We're losing houses. We're in a pandemic. People are dying. We've had over 350,000 people die from this virus. And amazingly, I still have people that'll say to me, well, I'm gonna wait till this is over. My house is on fire. I'm gonna wait till it burns down and then say, hey, can I get some homeowners insurance?
I do have a question about beneficiaries though. Okay. Can anybody be a beneficiary?
Anybody, you can name anybody beneficiary. Typically, when I write a policy, I only put one beneficiary on there.
Okay.
But once the policy is issued, you have full control. You can go online now at your discretion and name who you want your beneficiary. And the logic behind only putting one person down there, because say you've got 4 kids.
Right.
You can put all 4 of them on there, and there is no difference. I only put one on because we're sitting there now with, okay, I need his social security number. I need his email. I need his phone number. I need his address.
Right.
Let's just put one on here and get the policy issued.
Right.
You can always go back and put whoever you want on there.
Right.
Amazingly, they do not have to be anything. But what I tell everybody, because you're going to say, does they have to be an adult?
No, I was going to say, do they have to be American?
No. Once again, because you were talking about Nigeria, and I had a church member from Nigeria too, just so you know. But the only issue then becomes dealing with different banks.
Right.
Because it's going to be drawn on an American bank is, there's, when I send it over there, you start to deal with travel time and all of that stuff. And so, but no, they do not have to be an American citizen. They don't have to be an adult. Amazingly, there are people that have left their money to cats.
Wow.
What?
Yep.
How?
They put it in a trust, and the trust manages it for their animals.
Okay.
Perfectly legal. I don't know about smart, but it's legal.
I guess you have to be the type of person. Sounds like a waste to me.
Well, I mean, some people say they love their pets like their kids. I'm a non-pet. Sorry. I don't even want goldfish because I don't want to have to clean the water.
I'm the same way.
I mean, my sister has a cat. I mean, y'all probably saw it in the camera. The stupid cat kept going back and forth. But
yeah,
you know, I don't think she would do that.
No. You know
typically we don't.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I do. I'm sorry, Q. You had a question?
Yeah, I want to just sneak it in before I forget it, because you was I want you to touch on, because you brought up your nephew situation, and my condolences to you and your family, man.
Thank you.
That, you know, can you speak about? I've always heard this term accidental.
Ooh, accidental death and dismemberment.
What is it and the objective behind it?